The grand ballroom glittered under the weight of a dozen crystal chandeliers. A sea of decorated uniforms and elegant gowns swirling below. Tonight was the annual military gala, a night of celebration and prestige. For Alara, a new waitress at the city's most exclusive hotel, it was just another night of hard work. Her life had been a series of unfortunate events, leaving her orphaned and struggling to make ends meet. Serving coffee to the nation's elite was a far cry from the life she once dreamed of. "You girl! Get more coffee for table 7, barked a senior officer, his face flushed with wine. He didn't even look at her, just pointed a dismissive finger. Alara nodded, her expression neutral as she refilled her pot. She moved through the crowd with practiced ease, her mind a million miles away. This world of power and privilege felt alien, a universe she could only observe from the sidelines. She approached table 7, a boisterous group of high-ranking officials laughing loudly. She leaned in to pour. One of the men at the table, a portly colonel, grabbed her wrist. "Well, aren't you a pretty thing? Why don't you stay and have a drink with us?" His grip was tight. His breath smelled of stale cigars. Alara tried to pull away, her heart pounding. "Sir, please, I have to work," she pleaded, her voice barely a whisper. The men laughed, their amusement echoing her own humiliation. It felt like the whole world was watching, yet no one stepped in. Just then, a hush fell over the room. The music softened, and all eyes turned towards the grand entrance. General Alistair Bunce, the legendary Iron Eagle and the most respected military leader in the nation, had arrived. A man whose very presence commanded silence and respect. He strode into the room, his gaze sweeping over the crowd, sharp and discerning. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, seemed to see everything. General Vance's gaze continued its sweep until it landed on table 7. He saw the leering officers, and he saw Alara, her face pale, her arms still caught in the colonel's grasp. Then, he froze. The confident stride faltered, his face went white, and his eyes widened in sheer, unadulterated shock. The entire ballroom held its breath, witnessing the unshakable General Vance look as if he'd seen a ghost. The colonel, noticing the general's stare, quickly released Alara's arm, his face turning a shade of pale green. "General." Vance began to walk towards them, each step deliberate and heavy. The air crackled with tension. He ignored the saluting officers and walked directly to Alara. He stopped just a foot away. His expression a mixture of disbelief, reverence, and a deep, gut-wrenching fear. "Your Highness," he whispered, his voice cracking with emotion. Then, to the absolute astonishment of every single person in the room, the great General Alistair Vance dropped to one knee and bowed his head. "Princess Lyra," he choked out. "We thought you were lost." The room erupted in gasps. The colonel who had harassed her looked like he was about to faint. Alara stood frozen, the coffee pot still in her hand. The memories, long buried by trauma and time, came flooding back. She wasn't Alara the waitress. She was Lyra, the lost princess of the fallen kingdom of Eldoria, a kingdom Vance had sworn to protect. 10 years ago, during a brutal coup, she was smuggled out of the palace as a child, her identity hidden for her own safety. The man kneeling before her was her father's most loyal commander. That night, everything changed. No longer a forgotten orphan, she was the key to her kingdom's restoration. The officers who had mocked her now trembled in her presence. With General Vance by her side, she began the journey to reclaim her throne. Her path was no longer about serving coffee, but about serving her people, guides by the strength she had forged in the shadows. The waitress had become a queen, and her story was just beginning. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing stories.